Are you in a divorce and you're wondering what the heck you're supposed to be doing with all this paperwork? What are you supposed to keep? How are you supposed to file it? What do you get rid of? What is going on? I'm Vea, this is Case by Case Divorce, and in today's video, I'm going to show you how to keep nice and organized in a very professional binder in a very simple way that's going to save you time and money. Please stick with me to the end of this video because I've got 2 pro tips that you probably aren't going to hear anywhere else. But for now, if you like this content and you're happy with what you're learning, please hit the like button, click subscribe, or share this content with other people that you think it will help, because that's the whole point. Number 1, get all your stuff organized. So you can run down to an office supply store or a stationery store and get everything you need there. If you're looking to save money, definitely check out one of your local thrift stores. I found almost everything I need at the thrift store. I know you may see your lawyer with a giant binder like this. It's not necessary to go get the $40 giant binder. You can make do with, a bunch of smaller binders, which are always almost free at thrift stores. So that's what I do. The other thing you're gonna need is a hole punch. I got this at a thrift store. It's great for 5 to 10 pages at a time, which is sufficient for most of my needs. Back when I originally was creating my binder, I had huge stacks of paper. And so I actually went to my local library to use like the big 2-handed hole punches. They're available also at office supply stores. They're like $100 though. So it's kind of up to you if you're gonna invest in the easy to use, do big stacks of paper every time hole punch, or just spend $3 at a thrift store and get one of these. It's up to you. So the next thing you're gonna need is dividers. I like these kind that you have the little strip of paper you can label and stick in the slot. That's my preference. They also have these ones you could just write on with a Sharpie. And I also love the ones that already have the names of the months labeled on them. That's because a huge part of my filing system includes monthly summaries of daily notes that I take. If you want to know more about daily note taking and how I recommend doing that, I've made a video for it. You can find it here. I also like to have some of these. They're just pocket little holder things. So for stuff that doesn't fit into a hole punchy binder situation, you can just slip it into the sleeve. The other thing you're gonna need is a printer. I highly recommend buying a printer if you don't already have one. They're around $100. It's gonna be invaluable for you. You can scan things. They'll be nice and flat and smooth with no wrinkles, rather than taking pictures and sending it via JPEG or whatever. You can just scan things into PDF. And also printing. A few years ago when I started this process, I did a deep dive on what's cheaper, and my math came out with it's still cheaper to buy yourself a printer and pay the outrageous ink prices at the store to be printing your own pages compared to any of the places that I had nearby that were charging me like 5 cents per page. So you can run your own math on that. For me, the convenience of just being able to click print and having a printer at home is worth it, but you're gonna need some way of printing and scanning. So you need binders, dividers, a hole punch, and a printer. Keeping your stuff organized once you have all this material is as simple as getting something important, hole punching it, and sticking it in the right category. Right. Breath break. Did you know that taking a deep breath and letting out an audible sigh helps to regulate your nervous system? It's true. Here's my baseline kind of recommendations that you'll need to tailor initially and as you go along. So my experience is, I started out with these monthly ones and a few subfolders, and over the years, it's become apparent, what the issues in the divorce are and where the frequent things are gonna need to be. So I've just created separate folders for those. My overall list of what's gonna be helpful for you is court applications, notices of hearings, any orders made, any child protection things. You're going to want a folder for child protection. You want a folder for contracts and intake forms. So as your divorce moves along, you may be working with different professionals. Each professional is going to have their own intake form process and their own legal contract. It's vital that you keep everything that you send in. So make a copy. If you're sending anything to anybody, make a copy and file it. And keep all those contracts. You may need them later. Affidavits is another one, and then you could subdivide those by year if you get in that deep. Medical, educational, financial, where you can log what you are supposed to be paid, what you actually got paid, if you filed anything around that. And then again, you just need to be updating as needed so that, in the beginning, you're not going to be super sure what you need, and that's fine. As it moves along, it's going to become super clear how you can reorganize, and it's easy to do once you're in it. You've made it this far. Here's my 2 bonus tips for you. The first one is keep a separate binder with all your current orders and agreements in it, and have them flagged to the important pages that might be useful. So I always keep a copy of my current orders and agreements on file so that if I need to provide this information on the spur of a moment, say like my ex calls the cops and they show up at the door, I can show them that I have parenting time right now or not. Or if there's some problem at the school or there's some problem at a doctor's or something like this, I have my information just here and ready to go. Often in those moments, I'm kind of charged and I'm not thinking super clearly. So it's become invaluable for me to just know that in this binder, I have what I need so that I'm not trying to figure out where all the stuff is in this binder. My second pro tip is how you're storing all this stuff. So you maybe saw my binder and noticed it's all taped up. That's because the storage shelf that I had all my documents and my printer stored on actually collapsed and broke under the weight of it all. If you have a lot of paperwork, be mindful of where you're storing it, because a lot of shelf systems aren't built for this capacity of weight. So that's my pro tip. It's kind of sad, isn't it? I actually broke a piece of furniture with my divorce binder. Anyways, hey, thank you so much for sharing your time with me. I hope this video helped you figure out how you can organize your documents to feel more empowered and more organized. Having your information easily accessible like this is going to help you in your dialogues and in your exchanges with your lawyer. It's going to give you confidence, because if something happens, if something comes your way, an upsetting email, an accusation, whatever, you know what you have and you know where to find it, and you can do it now, not after hours of searching through your emails and burning out, right? It's exhausting to do all that. If you know where your stuff is and you can just flip to the tab and you know it's going to be in there, it's amazing. It's such a good feeling. And as we move through this divorce process, anything we can do to empower ourselves and give ourselves the feeling of confidence is a win. So set up your binder today. Drop a comment down below and let me know how it went. If you have a different system or one that you think's better, share that so we can all help each other with our knowledge. Check out my next videos. Thanks guys, see you next time.